These weren't just Minis, they were built for the Beatles. And almost nobody knows what happened to them. And the truth is, each one tells you exactly who they were becoming. In 1965, the Beatles were invited to Buckingham Palace. They were awarded the MBEs, honours usually reserved for war heroes. But they didn't arrive in Minis. They arrived in this. John Lennon's Rolls Royce. But what happened next is the part that nobody talks about. Their manager, Brian Epstein, decided to reward their success. But instead of more luxury, he chose the most ordinary car in Britain. A Mini, but not as you know it. Brian bought each one of them a Mini Cooper, but they were designed in a very special way by the coach builders Radford. Ringo Starr's Mini looked simple, but it had something no Mini had before, a hatchback built to carry his drum kit. But this wasn't about style, this was about survival on tour. Paul McCartney's took a different route. Aston Martin paint, luxury touches, even DB5 rear lights. This wasn't just a Mini, it was a statement. John Lennon's Mini was barely seen. The windows were so dark, people weren't even sure if he was inside. And that tells you everything. Distance, privacy, and control. And then there was George Harrison. He didn't just change the car, he turned it into art. Bright colours, bold patterns, a rolling symbol of the psychedelic era. So 4 completely identical cars became 4 completely different identities. Ringo, practical, Paul, refined, John, hidden, and George, transformed. These weren't just cars, they were a snapshot of the most famous band in the world, changing in real time. But what happened to these fabulous Minis? If you're doing a restoration, don't forget to check out CBS, Car Builder Solutions. They're our affiliate partners, and with them you can get 10% off your first order, so check it out in the link below. Ringo's Mini was now being treated like a priceless artefact. In 2017, it sold at auction for more than £100,000. And yes, it was bought by a Spice Girl. Paul McCartney's Mini, finished in elegant Californian sage metallic, was perhaps the most tasteful of the 4. He clearly loved it, photographed with it repeatedly, using it not as a celebrity toy, but almost like an everyday companion. And when it finally crossed the auction block, it sold for nearly £200,000. But George Harrison's Mini became something else entirely. By 1967, the clean black Radford Mini had exploded into full psychedelic colour. And in true 60s fashion, he even painted his house to match. Incredibly, George later gave the Mini to Eric Clapton. Today it survives perhaps as the most recognisable Beatles Mini of them all. John Lennon's Mini was barely seen. No clear history, no confirmed timeline. By the late 1960s, John had moved on into a completely different world. His Rolls Royce transformed, but the Mini, nobody really knows. And it remains something of a mystery. Don't park the car just yet, because if you thought these cars had a story, then check out the promise of the Comma van. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode, because every classic has a story to tell.